with Upper Creek Angler, and today we're tying through Steve Skuce's great book, Grayling Flies. Today we're tying fly number 43 from the book, the Ginger Tom, one of Steve's own creations. Steve originally tied this fly on a curve-shanked hook or a scud hook, but in recent days he's begun tying it on jig hooks as well, and given my predilection for jig hooks, I'm going to tie it on the updated version of this. Steve tends to like the fly better in sizes 14 and 16. This is a number 12 just for ease of viewing. We're only going to be using a few materials. We're going to use some pheasant tail, 2 different colors of dubbing, a ginger dubbing given the name Ginger Tom, and some dark brown dubbing for the collar, and some small pale colored ultra wire for the ribbing on the fly. So we'll start by advancing this thread down to just where the bend of the hook begins and tie in our pheasant tail fibers for the tail of the fly. Small clump of these, 8 or 10 or so. And given that I always use waste material to help me out with the overall taper of a fly, I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't think that's an aspect of the fly in its original pattern, but it's a John thing to do with flies, so I'm going to do it there anyway. Well, next time what we're going to use for the ribbing, again, this is just the paler color of copper in the UTC Ultra Wire. Run that back down to the back of the hook. And then pinch off some ginger colored dubbing. This specifically is from the SLF series in Whitlock's Dubbing Blend number 1. This is the Red Fox and Squirrel Abdomen. It looks really close. It's about the only thing that I've got in my tying stores that gets as close as to the original pattern looking that Steve has published in the book. You can always go back in and add more dubbing. It gets unpleasant to take it off. From here we'll wrap our wire forward, making sure to cross wrap so that, as Steve notes in the tying instructions, it doesn't bed in. You can helicopter that off, or if you're like me and keep a pair of worn out scissors by your side to cut that wire. For the collar, I'm going to use some dark brown. This is also squirrel dubbing. Some dark brown here. A number of things you could do to affix this. I'm just going to dub it straight onto the thread. If you wanted to make this even buggier, you could use a dubbing loop to attach this, and it would be just a little bit buggier in the collar. One of the things about this fly though is that there's nothing to keep it from sinking to the bottom, so that tightly dubbed collar will help this fly sink straight to the bottom. Our last whip finish, I'm going to apply just a little bit of zappa gap to the thread, just to make sure this fly never ever comes untied. And there we have it, Steve Skuce's Ginger Tom, number 43 from his masterful book, Grayling Flies. You'll catch a boatload of fish on this fly, and I hope you stay tuned. I'm going to work my way through the entire book over the next 3 to 4 months, and make sure you get yourself a copy of that book. Those Grayling Flies catch trout here, here in the U.S. just as well as they catch grayling in the UK. So keep tuned in and tie yourself up a box of these.